Remains of Eidith Finch. Before I tried playing through this once and recorded with OBS, but that didn't want to work. So I mean, I have played through most of it. I then realized OBS didn't want to save what I recorded, so now I'm just gonna do this instead.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just gonna start at the beginning, with the house.
This is just a house. So I mean,
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
I'll close that.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Oh, Lewis.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know, or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Yeah, I want to see what's down this way. This is a forest. One was recording it with OBS and one on the other walk. On the other pathway.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
That's what every woods is like, though. Technically, right? So, I mean, like I grew up in a place like that, and it was always quiet and everything. And it sucked, but I mean, it was still cool.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Nice house.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Like, this is a beautiful house. And honestly, imagine living here, just like out in the forest, mountain tops. Not really mountain tops, but near them. Wind chimes. Ooh. There's a hole.
The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
Okay, damn. Dragging your mom, I see. Alright. Go through the dog door.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
I mean, small, right? So big. Ah, lights.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Oh, never mind then.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Or how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Okay, let's go this way first.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Eidith living in a nursing home.
Alrighty.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Even the fireplace had a story. Eidith told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Okay, that would be pretty cool. If I could do that. Oh, what the hell? Where'd you go? I won't come back. There's a thing right. Wait a second. What? Dude. Hold on. No, what? There was something there. Turn the lights on. No, oh no, the power's turned off. Hang on. Can I turn this?
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Oh, okay. Just close on me like that, alright. See how it is.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
What?
Eidith told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Oh, that's kind of gross. It doesn't not look like a big library. Yeah, looks like we go up the stairs now, though.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Eidith retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Peoples. This is Calvin.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
I like the room though. Look at that. Spaceman. Orange. There's the word photo there though, so I don't know what that could mean, but man, this is a pretty cool room. Calvin. So was it just him? Or was it him and his brother that stayed in this room? Because it only says one name, unless he's still alive. I don't know, because these look like memorial things.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Goody. There's a bird. Oh no, there's two birds. Sven and Eidith.
The last time I was in Eidith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
She can paint. Well, I wanna. Okay, she must be pretty old though. Oh shit, you still this.
Eidith's father, Odin, built the original house. Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Oh, there's a thing right
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Barbara Finch. My friend Bigfoot. They got the same photo downstairs. Why do they got two of the same photo? No sense. That's a staircase.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Well, shit, time to head back down. Oh, wait, there's still that area over here. Okay, no, I'm not going in there yet because that looks like progress. So Molly's room.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with. If she hadn't died in 1947.
Oof. She only lived to the age of 10. That is sad. You imagine that, just only living to the age of 10. Damn. Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? What the hell? Why is that a thing? What is that? It's a dog and a little girl mixed together. What? Why? Where's that? That's a cat. Never mind. That's not a dog. It's a cat. But why? But why? Why do that?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Look at all the fish. Pisces.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Guess you gotta believe him now. Look at the book.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
That is... That better be
Reading
cat.
this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
I got plenty of teddy bear there.
But I had no idea what was behind that door.
Sup, uncle?
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. Oh, that's a cool gerbil cage. So it's an owl, a duck, a cat, a rabbit. What are these? I really do not know. Just got a starfish. It's pretty cool things.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Go on, get gerbil. Oh no! Oh, whoops! That's a wrong
The
button.
gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Okay then. Just gonna eat some turds too. Like, there's a pumpkin.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Well, you're fat. Fatty. Let's eat the fish.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Hi, Christopher. How you doing? Oh, I'm just swimming. That's a nice fish. That's a real nice fish. Alright, time to move on if it will let me. Thank you. Can I eat the starfish? Apparently not. It is super dark. Oh my god. It's a toilet.
I kept eating and eating.
Oh, don't you even dare. Don't do it. Don't. Oh, you nasty bastard. Why would you? That is nasty.
I ate a lot of things that night.
That is gross. She just ate the fucking toothpaste, bro. I heard a bird.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly,
Okay,
I was a cat.
done.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Oh, I'm catching that. I don't know who it is. This cat has legs that can jump, boy. Come get you.
I jumped and I almost got her.
Got her or got hurt?
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl.
Okay.
First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Okay, something's weird happening
Rabbits.
What's up, little fucker?
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons.
Okay.
I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Alrighty then. That is nasty. That is actually
A
disgusting.
mama rabbit.
Gotcha.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Okay. 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 Hold on. So, she went from a human to a cat. Oh no. From a human to a cat to an owl to a shark. Moving right along.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean.
I'm not sure
Now,
that's the
I
ocean.
was hungrier than ever.
Oh, look at that little dude swimming. Oh, I'm coming to get you. Oh, I'm coming to get you. Oh, I'm coming to get you. Oh,
I
I'm coming to
wanted
get you.
fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Nice game. That's pretty nasty. Okay, this is kind of actually hard to control, right?
Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Okay, what are we now? What are we?
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Okay, I'm a monster. There we go.
I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Belly with a rusty
crossed the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Okay, so what do we know? Oh, we're still the monster. Okay, well, what the fuck?
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
What is actually happening? Oh, I can apparently climb up walls, which I didn't want to do. Okay, that was pretty cool, not gonna lie. And coming out of a toilet, looks like. Yeah, came out of a fucking toilet.
I got closer and closer.
Look at that light. And we're back in her room. Does that mean we're gonna eat her?
All of my stomach started growling.
Okay, let's just get a good look at this.
And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
Okay, so you're telling me this thing ate her. Is that what you're technically saying, game? Is that this fucking thing ate her? Because it said 1947. That's when she died. That is nasty.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Yeah, it says 1947 on when she died. She started writing that in 1947. They died. They. Are you kidding me? Oh, I hear a cat. Where's the cat go? Oh, do I gotta walk across the branch? Nope.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past.
Well, now
Though,
what's happening?
when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Her room was like a museum. Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Okay, was Louis your brother then?
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Oh, mole man. Okay, that's pretty dope.
I hadn't thought of myself as Eidith Jr. for a long, long time. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
Oh, I just got the chills up my back. I don't know.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Okay then. I mean, I kind of understand. I mean, what is wrong with that gnome's face? Human. No. Okay, I mean, it's outdated. Okay, no, I don't feel like we got that way yet. Because that's a door, and that's a door there too.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune. And misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Well, that kind of sucks.
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
Okay, so would that be her grave?
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Okay, so yeah, that would be her. So that's her grandma. So that'd be her great-grandparents, then great-great-great-parents. So that's 3 greats for the first dude.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Look at that house.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Yeah, that's
It was a pretty big trace.
Yeah, look at this. It's terrible in here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Why is there a Tuesday missing? Look at all these pills. Look at the candles. Ooh, a book. And I'm standing on the toilet. I must be hella short. There's a secret in this bathroom.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Wait a second. These are 2 boys. Why you got all men there, huh? Again.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Wait, is that the camera? No, that can't be the camera. Wait, is it? Oh no. Oh, for a selfie. Very nice. Is that a necklace? We got a boot for a necklace. Some gravestones. Some rose. What else we got? Look how everything's connected though. Oh, I just got up through the chair. Look at the darts. All body smoking cigarettes. It's an ashtray. Hold up. What these? It is the 2 boys in the book. Oh, looks like one of them died though. Looks like Calvin died. Okay, so it was Calvin that died. Is Sam still alive then? Yeah, he wanted to be.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
Okay, yeah, so Sam was alive. Calvin was dead. What's up here? It's just a staircase to nothing. Alright. Football and everything. So did he want to be part of the US? Like army and everything? And then like Calvin wanted to be like an astronaut? I guess so.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Oh, whoops. Keep pressing the wrong buttons.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Oh, that is.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Don't tell me
Calvin,
it's
I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
Oh, you got it. This kid is good.
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
This kid fucking good.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Kid needed himself off. Holy. Yeah, he just
Calvin's
needed...
story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
What, launch yourself off a fucking swing?
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
So he was part of the army. That's kind of sad. Like, thinking like your own brother, you kind of think that you killed him because you said it was impossible, but he said, nah, I can do it, I'm gonna do it. It's just not possible. Okay, how does nobody just notice this stuff?
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
What's this, the other side? Oh, this is done, I think. Nobody just questioned it, alright.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
I think she was. She won 2 Oscars. What the hell? Was Oscars even around back then? She had her own doll. She had her own doll. You gotta be kidding me. I want my own doll. You're cool. Barbara. That's a guitar. Swan Lake. It's not like a dance. Barb Street, you gotta be kidding me. She had her own.
I never thought about
street.
how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Moldy cake. Cigarettes. Incredible stories.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch.
Oh, yeah.
As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
Wait, what?
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue.
Okay.
She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Oh. I like the music.
Rick?
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Oh, we're gonna play some pool? Oh, no, we're not. Kill things.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
How do I get up the stairs? Shit, I'm gonna start swinging.
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And the only was, he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
Where do I go?
opened in years. The hinges groan. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Okay, so, sheep person.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
I like the eerie music.
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time.
Oh,
He took it all pretty hard. But that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear.
that was pretty
Now that's
nasty.
what I call a real eerie tale.
Oh, I just do now. Pretty cool story, but shit.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Well, I think I'm going to leave this episode here now. Because that was pretty fucking dope and kind of scary. So yeah, hope you guys liked it for now. And I'll record the next one soon and upload it in about a week. I don't know, because I don't know my uploading schedule yet. Probably this weekend then. This is gonna go out today, as of now. And then I will be uploading this weekend. My upload some Fortnite, Season 9, let's go. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.